Management of giant retinal.
Management of GRT.
So Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage. So too is the eye, where we ophthalmologists dare to operate. You see, the retina is like a canvas of light, delicate and vast. But when a giant tear unfurls, this canvas crumples and darkness spreads fast. Today, I'll show you how to manage this delicate masterpiece, how to mend it part by part, piece by piece. So pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, to the stage over here. For today, we're going to learn about the management of a giant retinal tear. First, we need to know how the curtain falls. So look here, ladies and gentlemen. The basic pathology is an abnormal vitreous and a weak retina. So these are the conditions of a weak retina. So what happens? The central vitreous liquefies, causes peripheral vitreous condensation, which exerts traction on the peripheral retina over here. Eventually, this peripheral retina rips circumferentially in a zipper-like fashion, causing a giant retinal tear.
Go a little back so that judges can also see. और थोड़ा पीछे जाओ. Yes, वहाँ से दिखाओ.
So, once this giant retinal tear has happened, this liquefied vitreous can seep behind the posterior flap and into the subretinal space and cause detachment of the neurosensory retina from the underlying RPE. A giant retinal tear classically involves more than 3 clock hours of the circumference of the retina, and it might involve any quadrant. There is usually an anterior flap under which is the subretinal fluid, which can cause slippage later. And then you've got a posterior flap. The anterior flap has attached vitreous, the posterior flap does not. Because of a lack of attachment of posterior vitreous, this flap can roll and fold and invert, and that becomes a hassle to manage at the time of surgery. So now we also can have radial rips from the margin of the giant retinal tear, and there can be proliferative vitreoretinopathy. Now, how do we manage a giant retinal tear? So firstly, we need to take care of the lens. If there is a stable and clear crystalline lens or a stable IOL, then we don't need to touch it, we don't need to remove it. However, if there is significant cataract or subluxation or PVR, then the lens needs to be removed. The first step is vitrectomy. So first we need to remove the vitreous from the attached part of the retina and then from the mobile flap. And we have to remove as much vitreous as possible up to the very base. Now, the next step, we have to remove the anterior flap also because of the subretinal fluid, which might cause slippage later. Next, there might be any proliferative vitreoretinopathy or any folds which have to be removed so that the retina is uniformly flattened. Next, what we do, we use PFCl, perfluorocarbon liquid. So we have got the PFCl bubble. We inject it slowly through the infusion cannula over the posterior pole, the disc surface, and what this does is this gradually spreads and it flattens out the entire retina up to the periphery. Now, the properties of the PFCl are as follows. So we have to be very careful that the PFCl is injected as a single bubble very slowly, because multiple bubbles or fish egging can go behind this flap and can destabilize the flap later. Now, the next step, the most important step is the PFCl oil exchange. But before that, once we have flattened the PFCl, when we have flattened the retina from the PFCl, we need to do retinopexy. How do we do a retinopexy? We take an endo laser and we do 5 to 6 rows at the margins of the GRD and 3 to 4 rows over the rest of the retina. The next, the most crucial step is PFCl oil exchange. We can do it as a direct exchange or in a two-step manner. First, we exchange PFCl with air and then we exchange the air with oil. Now, the mechanism of PFCl oil exchange. So we've got silicone oil. We are injecting it through the infusion cannula, and at the same time, we are aspirating the PFCl through the suction catheter. So simultaneous removal of the PFCl and insertion of the silicone oil gradually fills the entire vitreous cavity with the silicone oil, and now there is a constant heavy liquid which is pressing down the retina and holding it in place. So this is how we do the exchange. So these were the basic steps of GRT surgery, and that is how from chaos to calm, from darkness to sight, science and art merge under the light. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent
Wonderful way.
presentation.
Yeah. So meanwhile, when judges are asking questions, I request team from Glucostars to be.
So, silicone oil is heavier than water?
Yes, sir, it provides a tamponading effect.
Is it heavier than water or lighter than water? And PFCL?
PFCl is also heavier than water. It has a higher specific gravity.
Then how will it replace?
Oh, sorry. PFCL is heavier in water, so it goes down, and silicone oil is lighter, so it goes up, and that is how it spreads. PFCL spreads, whereas silicone oil is injected.
So when we inject silicone oil,
Yes, sir.
we have to remove PFCL, no?
Simultaneously. Yes.
Yeah. So how will you do that?
So we insert silicone oil over the central meniscus of the PFCL, and then PFCL spreads to the sides, and we aspirate it from the cannula, from the site.
Okay, good. Thanks.